Dear friends, hope all of you are enjoying the retreat. Looks like a very beautiful place, beautiful monastery, and beautiful architecture site, historical town, and also looks like a calm place, quiet place up to some degrees. So you are very fortunate to have all these supportive factors and supportive friends to cultivate your inner self, to heal yourself, to be with yourself. With the meditation, we are going for a journey. Therefore, you are not the same one who came to this retreat 3 days ago. Maybe your name is still same. Somehow your physical appearances are same, and some attitudes might be same, but you already start to feel this, that you are different now. Maybe there are no words to explain it, how we are different, how we are not same one who came to this retreat a couple of days ago. Our language is very poor. Really, whatever language is very limited. And mainly the language or languages are helping us to speak about our day-to-day activities, day-to-day feelings, day-to-day thoughts, experiences. There is no so-called spiritual languages. Even there is no any single spiritual language. All the languages are worldly and intellectual. The language is intellectual. Lot of ideas are there, concepts are there, and languages are helping us to communicate with each other. Really, dear friends, all the languages are helping us to communicate with others, not communicate with ourselves. There is no any single language which helps us to communicate with our own self. No inner language or inner languages. With the language, we always communicate with the outside world, with the outer world. Therefore, whenever we use a language, we are not here. We are not inside of us. We are not being with ourselves. We are there. We don't know where, but definitely we are not here. No language can help us to be here, be with ourselves. And that's the way it is. It's not a fault of any language. We need a language to communicate with others. And with words, the languages having words, thousands of words, uh, maybe more, 10,000 of words, or many. And whenever we use a word, we think there is something in the reality similar to this word. We always believe this. If there is a word, then there is something in the reality. And as we discussed yesterday, there are words, of course, but each word is a shadow of the reality, not the real thing, not the reality. It's a shadow of the reality. And anyway, we don't have to go deeper into this direction, dear friends. What I want to tell you is, or what I want to share with you, or what I want to open your eyes is how much we are depending on languages, that much we are far away from ourselves. That much we are far away from the reality, from the present moment. How much we are involved with external communication through words and through languages, that much we are going away from the reality, away from the present, away from ourselves. Even we can talk about ourselves. Maybe the topic is ourselves, our own selves. But whenever we start to talk about ourselves, then immediately we are not here. We are talking about something, not about ourselves. So, when we come to meditation, one of the very first things what the meditation is asking us to do is detach from languages, detach from communications. And we know this, that to think we need a language. That is something interesting. Can you think without using any language? Is it possible to think about whatever without having any single word? Please reflect this. After this session, you can reflect and do your own experiment. Can you think about whatever without having words, without using languages? Therefore, dear friends, the meditation is highly recommending us to switch off all kinds of communications, dialogues. And that is one of the very difficult tasks, especially for humans, and especially for the modern humans, because we are so dependent, so depending on communications, especially because of the media. And if we go back to earlier stages, earlier, it's so easy. Less communication, but more strong relationships. Less communication, but closed relationships. Short communications, long relationships. And now, more communication, more dialogues, more discussions, more conversations, weak relationships. We have long discussions, long chats, long dialogues, but our relationships are short enough. So there is an issue. There is an point. We had to understand this. Something wrong. To understand this, we better to shut down all the communications for short period of time. Not forever, but for short period of time. That's why usually we are asked to switch off our mobiles, or don't bring, we are not allowed to bring mobiles into the retreats, and maintain silence, noble silence, and not having any eye contact, so and so. They are supporting us to switch off our communications up to certain extent, not 100%. And it's not easy. We had to accept this. It's not easy because we are used, and it's an addiction more than a habit. But there is no any other way. If you really want to connect to yourself, if you want to really listen to yourself and communicate with yourself, and if you want to discover the real way to communicate with even others, then first we had to switch off our current communications. So we had to come to silence. And silence, somehow it's a beautiful word. Not always. It depends. Sometimes silence is so painful. Maybe not our own silence, but others' silence can hurt us. We want to talk, we want to share things with them, or we are expecting them to share themselves with us, but no comment. They are silent. And it hurts us a lot. Actually, you know this, uh, words can kill us. Words can kill us. So words are more powerful than any other weapons, even powerful than bioweapons. Words. Because all those weapons can only destroy our physical body, our physical form, but not our heart. Words can destroy our heart. Maybe one single word can completely destroy our heart. So no weapon can do it. Therefore, words sometimes and some words are more poison than any bioweapons. And sometimes the silence is more harmful than words. And that's true. Therefore, everything has negativities and positivities. There is a negative silence and positive silence. I don't want to talk. I don't want to listen to you. I hate you. I want to uh, go away from you. With all those thoughts, uh, we want to be silent, and that silence is it's really like a dark room, and we are not going to that silence. And that silence come, that particular silence comes from the hatred and from the depression. When we are angry, then we have two reactions. Either we want to blame or we want to be silent. So both are equal harmful reactions, blaming and being silent. And when we are depressed, we don't have any choices. Usually we don't blame. We just want to uh, be quiet. Difficult to talk, even though we want to talk, but it's not easy to talk. And that silence is also very painful. Anyhow, this meditative silence is different than those silences. This silence does not come from any hatred or from any dislike feeling. And We want to be silent because others are not good. Oh, no, not because of that. They are very good. They are very wise. They are very kind. You too. That is not the case. We want to be with our heart. And what's the language of the heart? So if you want to listen to the heart, yesterday there is a question, very interesting question about this subject. So we want to be with the heart. We want to listen to the heart. What is the language of the heart? Without knowing the language of the heart, how possible to listen to? So first we had to learn the language of the heart. If you meet a foreigner or if you go to a foreign country, then they don't know your language and you don't know their language. So now you have translated some programs, but if not, then either you have to learn their language or they have to learn your language. So there is no way we cannot ask our heart to learn English language or Flemish or Dutch or German or Spanish. Dear heart, I am German, I am Spanish, I am Dutch, I am Belgium. So you have to learn German language or Sinhala language or Spanish because I want to communicate with you. That is not the way. The ego always wants to do this. You have to learn my language. If you want to communicate with me, you have to learn my language. That's the ego. So we cannot go with the ego. We can go with the ego different journeys, but not this journey. Therefore, we have to learn the language of the heart. And unfortunately, maybe fortunately, there is no language schools which teach us about the language of the heart. We cannot get support from any those grammar schools. And there are no online programs, online language programs. And even no teacher can teach us the language of the heart. In a way, in this way, we are in a helpless situation. First time we come to this helpless situation when we meditate. Of course, we are experiencing this helplessness in many times in our everyday life, daily life, of course, but not not because of this with the heart. But when we meditate, then first time we realize how helpless we are, because we want to communicate with the heart, we want to learn about the heart, we want to learn from the heart, but there is a language barrier. And there is no book which helps us to learn the language of the heart. No teacher, no school, no online programs, nothing, 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 nothing. So first time, dear friends, we realize this, how poor we are, how helpless we are. And we have to come to this point. Of course, we can do meditation as a relaxation in a superphysical way without going into the depth. Then we are not coming to this zero experience. That's good for our everyday life. But really, if you want to go deeper into the practice, then we must come to this point. The heart is talking, but we can't understand. We don't know what it says. And the mind is trying to interpret it. The intellectual mind is giving interpretations, commentaries, and they might be very intelligent interpretations, intelligent commentaries, but they are just commentaries. They are just interpretations, not the real. Even we cannot hear the voice of the heart. So we have to switch off. We have to switch off the intellectual channel. If the intellectual channel is chatting and giving commentaries and interpretations and asking questions and giving answers, and it goes on and on and on and on, then there is no way to listen to the heart, no way to be with the heart, and no way to communicate with the heart. Therefore, at least for a temporary time, for a while, we had to switch off this intellectual channel for temporary period. Don't afraid, only for temporary period. So that's why we put a full stop. Always we put a full stop means we switch off. We can switch off whenever the intellectual mind starts to give a commentary or interpretation about whatever. We can switch off. Gently we can switch off. But the mind knows how to switch on. That's okay. The mind knows how to switch on. Therefore, again, it switch on. And again, after switch on, it starts to speak and speak and speak. So interesting, really interesting. Then we switch off again. Again, the mind can switch on and talk. And we switch off. So, in the beginning, dear friends, our meditation practice is this. Do not expect something complicated or something divine. The practice is just switch off the intellectual channel and do it happily. You don't think, this is the 110 time, or what nonsense, where is the end? No, this, be in the present. Don't count how many times. By counting, you are going to the past. Don't count. just whenever you hear this intellectual channel, switch off. You can switch off. You have that right to switch off. And to switch off, you need awareness. If you are not aware, then you don't know that intellectual channel is switched on. Only the awareness can tell us, oh, this channel is going on and on. So whenever the awareness informs you, then say thanks. Thanks, dear awareness, for informing us. If you do not inform us, then it goes on and we are wasting time. We think we are meditating, but no meditation. Therefore, each time whenever the awareness informs you about this intellectual channel, say thank you. Thank you, dear awareness. That's important. And that thanks comes from the heart. Because it does not come from any habit. It doesn't come from any habitual pattern. We don't have that habit. First time we are communicating with the awareness. Therefore, it is fresh. It is new. It doesn't become, or it did not become part of the past yet. We say thanks to many people, but for most of the times it happens habitually because we know we have to say thanks. But this very thank, it comes from the heart and you feel it. You can feel it. It comes with with feelings, not just a sound, not just a word. And indirectly, it helps to the awareness to inform you more and more. Your thanks, your appreciation, your gratitude is the food for the awareness. And the other interesting thing is, so how possible that the mind can switch on it again? If you switch off, then how possible? How come that the intellectual mind channel, the intellectual canal itself can switch on the radio or the television? Usually channels cannot switch on the television. You have to switch on. If you switch off the television, then no channel can switch on it. But the mind is different. And actually it is not a power of the mind, not power of the intellectual mind. It's the weakness of us. Please understand this. Don't think the intellectual mind is so strong, so powerful, we cannot control. It is always chatting and chatting and chatting. All those discussions, dialogues, conversations are going on and on and on. Big noise inside of the head. How much time I switch off, but still it is restarting and going on. That's true, but not because that the intellectual mind is powerful, not because of that. The mechanism is different. You can switch off it whenever you are aware. And whenever you are not aware, then the channel can switch on. That's the secret. As long as you are aware, as long as you are having the awareness, as long as the awareness is being with you, there's no way to switch on. All kinds of automatic programs are not running. Whenever, as long as you are aware, everything becomes manual. But whenever you are becoming unaware, then again, all those automatic programs and apps are running by themselves. Simple secret, but we have to realize it. So the solution is maintaining our awareness. There is no any other choice, no any other solution, no any other mantra or trick. Only solution is to be aware, to maintain the awareness. Again and again, we had to become aware. And dear friends, when we are aware, we become aware on this inner commentaries, intellectual interpretations, statements, questions, answers, all those things. And we can switch off. It's possible. We can off the switch. And whenever we switch off it, then silence. The awareness can hear the silence. Only the awareness has this ability to hear that inner silence. There are some moments where the mind is stopped. I mean, not when we are meditating. In some other times, sometimes the mind stops by itself, but we don't know because we are not aware. Then it's useless. We can't get any benefit. So the awareness is hearing or listening the silence of the mind, especially silence of the intellectual mind. And that silence is different. No arguments. No fights. no criticisms, no counter questions, nothing. All are gone and the mind is silent. When the mind is silent, only then we can hear the sound of the heart, the voice of the heart. The sound of the heart is so loud. Sorry, the sound of the mind is so loud. Is so loud. And the voice of the heart is so soft. So when the mind is talking, then no one can hear the sound of the heart. It's impossible. And when the mind stops, when the mind is being silent, only then we can hear the sound of the heart. Please understand, it is just the sound of the heart for us, because still we do not know the language. So if you don't know the language of whatever or whomever speaking, then it is just a sound. But that is the starting point to learn the language. So be with the heart. Pay your full attention on that subtle and soft and tender sound of the heart. Dear friends, in the beginning, it's like no sound, no sound. No, it is speaking. The voice is there, voice of the heart. But we had to tune up ourselves. We had to do fine tuning. And it takes some time. So stay with the silence. Stay with the silence. Open yourself. Be aware. Be alert. And focus your full attention on yourself and wait. And wait. And to do all these simple steps. There are a couple of simple steps I said. To follow those simple steps, our breathing helps us. We cannot hear the sound of the in-breath or the sound of the out-breath if the mind is too loud. So when the mind is quiet, only then we can hear the sound of the breath. So stay with the sound of the breath and tune yourself, tune up yourself to hear the sound of the in-breath and sound of the out-breath strongly. And that's the bridge. We need a bridge to cross. to go to the other side. This is the bridge, the breath, the sound of the breath. To, to listen to the sound of the heart from sound of the mind. So we are in this bank, sound of the mind or noise of the mind. We have to cross to go to the other bank, the bank of the sound of the heart, and we need a bridge. So this breathing meditation makes the bridge. That's why we do it. Try to listen to the sound of in-breath, sound of out-breath, instead of being with the noise of the mind. Thanks a lot, dear friends. Once again, thank you for paying your kind attention. Enjoy the practice as much as you wish.